Okay, legends, here we go. And tip number 10 for your reading comprehension. I really want you to make sure you pay attention to the bit at the top. Now, I hope you all know what I'm talking about with this bit, but basically, when you get a reading comprehension in your textbook or maybe on a worksheet, maybe in an exam, you see the passage and so many of you just pile straight into the passage and off you go and you get reading. Some of you look at the passage and the questions and get cracking with the whole thing. I'll come on to that later. But either way, you miss out the little bit at the top. Sometimes it's in italics, sometimes it's one line, sometimes it's a few lines. I'm going to show you an example here, all right, which is got 4 lines or 5 lines, really important. And basically it tells you about the passage. Bear in mind that you're not going to get a reading comprehension on an entire book. It's not going to happen. You're not likely to get it on, even if it's a non-fiction one, on a whole article. Again, too long. So what they've done when they're testing you on your comprehension skills in any test, exam or textbook is take an extract. That means they're taking a part of it. All right. So therefore, it doesn't make sense. That passage alone doesn't really make sense. You need to have a little bit of help. And that little bit of help comes at the top, the little bit at the top. And if you make sure you read that, your understanding of what is to follow will be so much better. All right, so please don't skip that. Don't be lazy and jump straight into the passage thinking you're getting a head start. You're not. All right, please make sure you read that little bit at the top. It's called the provenance. And if you're doing history exams, you'll see the provenance used relates to sources and to where certain things come from. All right, so the provenance at the top of the reading comprehension, you don't need to know that word at all. You know, if you want to and sound fancy about it, you can do. But it's basically, it's telling you where the extract is from. And that's massively helpful. And if you are in an exam, and I'm going to try and dig out an example and put it on this video as a sticker if I can, but also not only is there information at the top, but sometimes at the very end, in small print, it says where the book, what the book is, or where the extract is from, and who it's by, perhaps sometimes when it was published. And that can be really helpful. It gives you an idea of time, it gives you an idea of who wrote it, whether they're male or female sometimes, which can be helpful in referring to them in the questions. So that small print can often be really important. Some exams don't have that at all. Some books don't have that at all. But just for this top tips, and number 10 is have a look at the provenance. Don't skip it. Read the little bit at the top and check on your exam paper or in that comprehension that you're doing, is there any other small print that tells you a little bit more about the passage that can help me with all that information I need to understand? Okay, so there we go. Tip number 10, look at the little bit at the top, the provenance and the small print. Every part of it as much as you can. Okay, see you in tip number 9.